Alright guys, so I'm out for my afternoon walk. Let me see if I can adjust this. Alright, hopefully you can hear me okay. It is chilly and windy out here. So I do have the cat's tail on the microphone, so hopefully it's working and you don't have a lot of feedback. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Michelle, and I talk about passive income living and also how I was able to retire at the age of 50 out of corporate America. And I'm in my first year of that. I haven't completed up the full year yet, but everything is going great. The other thing I also like to do is to give feedback to those who are still in corporate America. I was in corporate America 25 plus years. I was able to make it up the executive ladder. I did become an executive, and I have pros, cons, things that I learned the hard way for some of them, and I like to get that feedback. So today's video is for those who are still in corporate America and you're trying to get up that corporate ladder. You're trying to get a promotion. And I will tell you that is one of the things that I did learn the hard way. If you were like me and you were seeing other people progress and you knew you were better than them, I was very good in corporate America. I was a Six Sigma black belt. I was a certified anti-money laundering specialist. I actually had great mentorship, but even with all of that, I was still seeing people progress up the ladder past me, and I knew they were not better than me. And I'm not just saying that just because I thought I was good. I was good. I trained, I practiced whatever I needed to do. I was doing all of that, and it still didn't look like it was helping. And so I have three things that I end up learning that really helped me out. And first and foremost, the three things that you need to look at if you're in that same position. Number one is the company could be overlooking you. They very well could be. Number two, it could be that you're not as good as you think you are. And then the final thing is about networking, if you are networking the proper way. So let's talk about the first thing, that the company is overlooking you. And how you can tell that is, one, if you are as good as you are, or you think you are you getting the things that you should? You know, I don't know how your company rates people, you know, whether it's exceeds, exceptional. I know you have to get performance appraisals and things like that. But if you're getting those, are you being ranked at the high level? And if you are being ranked at the high level, are you getting anything for that? You know, not just, you know, raises, but if your company provides bonuses, if they provide stock options, whatever it is, are you getting those things? Are you being invited to conferences? You know, whether it's leadership conferences, executive conferences, training type conferences like CAMS events if you're in fraud or AML or things like that. And hopefully it's not real loud, there's a plane flying over. But are you getting those things? If you are getting those things, yet you're still not progressing up, I would talk with, you know, my manager, you know, about that. Because one thing that I found out when I was in corporate America was there were so many things that was available that I just didn't know about. Meaning, like I was mentioning different conferences, there were conferences, there were awards. I didn't know about any of that from my managers. The way that I found out about those was the great mentors that I ended up getting. And once I ended up getting those, I was able to talk with people about those to find out how I could be a part of it. I didn't know whether it was you had to be put in line for it. Someone had to recommend you. I didn't know. But my manager was not talking with me about that. So I questioned that. And it's like, did you know about these? And in one situation, I had a manager tell me that, oh, well, we didn't know you'd be interested in that. Who wouldn't be interested, in going to a conference, especially if it's going to better you? So that's the first thing, around that, on whether your company is overlooking you. And if you find out that it's more so the person that you're working with, then it's time to move on to another role, or go into one of the other things that I was talking about, which is the networking. The networking piece, if you are good, but only your manager knows that you're good, it's not going to help you when it comes time for advancement. And I say this from a manager's perspective, where as a manager, you always have to rank your associates. So let's say I have 10 people that works for me. I can rank them 1 to 10. I'm not going to have a tie at 1. Yes, I may have 1 or 2 where I'm like, well, they're similar. I have Sheila at 1. I have Bob at 2. I have Sheila at 1 because I know that no matter what, she's in here every day. She stays over. She's good at Excel. She's good at PowerPoint. And then maybe with Bob, it may be that he is just as good, but maybe he doesn't like to stay over for overtime, or he doesn't go above and beyond on some things. Doesn't mean he's not a good employee, but just different things like that. But I say that about the ranking because if I have to rank mine, and we're in a huge company, my peers are going to have to rank their people too. And just because I think you're great, when I put you up against my peers, they may have people that are knocking it clean out of the park. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe my person isn't as good as what I think. They're great in their role, but maybe you need to step out more. You need to start letting other managers, like if I'm your manager, you need to know all of my peers. They need to know how good you are. They need to know what you've been doing. And that's where networking comes into play. And also great mentorship, because if somebody else besides me can talk about you in that room when we're ranking and we're promoting, that's what makes you stand out. If it's just me and I don't have the pull across everybody, it's not going to do you any good. So we both have to work, towards that. And that was something that I had to learn. And then the other piece is about being as good as you think you are. That's where you have to reevaluate yourself and just understand, am I being a part of the projects that I need to be? Am I standing up for any training that they have? Am I trying to advance myself? Am I doing all of those different things? And then that's where you really have to sit down, and if you have a mentor, that mentor can give advice, on you as well, because you may think you're doing very well, but if you're not hitting those exceeds like you should, or exceptional, or whatever it is, on how you're ranked from a performance standpoint, that can stand out as well. So those were the 3 things that I really had to understand on. 1, am I being overlooked by my company? 2, am I not as good as I thought I was? And 3, am I networking the right way? If you can look at all of those things, and now that we are in a new year, that's a time to really evaluate yourself, to make sure that you're kicking this year off the best way. And if you don't have a good mentor, and I always say, make sure you have mentors that look like you and mentors that don't look like you. Just because you want to get into a certain position with, another manager, let's just say that me, black female, yes, I'd like to have another black female as my mentor, but I also need a white male. I also need a white female. You need across the board, because different backgrounds, different people see things different ways. And you need to see the full scope, not just what you feel comfortable with. You need to feel comfortable across the board. So make sure you're doing those particular things. And I think that if you can conquer those and do better than I did with them initially, once I understood those, that's when I started progressing, a lot more in the company. And if the company is overlooking you, you need to make sure your resume is updated. Always update it. And I'm not saying you're going to jump ship, but if you want to know what your worth is, just put it out on the market. Look at some of the other jobs and things that are out there. If you like what you're doing, see if that job is at another company and if they need someone in it. See what they're paying, because you may find out that you're not getting as paid as much as you could be. And if you don't know, the biggest salary bumps that you always get is jumping ship, going to another company. Now, if you're as good as you think you are and the company thinks that, they'll match whatever other company is looking at you. But and that's what I have experienced, when I was in there. But hopefully this helps you out. Like I said, we're at the beginning of the year, so these are tools that you can put in your belt right now and make it a positive 2025. But stay tuned to the channel. There's other things that I will bring to light that I learned when I was in corporate America, and hopefully it could help you out as well. Thank you for tuning in today.